If you're one of the billions of people across the world who owns a phone, laptop or pretty much anything with a wireless connection, you could be vulnerable to a new hacking threat. To talk us through it, I'm joined by cyber expert Lani Rafidi. Firstly, Lani, thank you so much for joining us. What is this so-called BlueBorne attack?
Thanks, Eva. Well, BlueBorne isn't actually an attack per se. What it is, it's a software flaw in the Bluetooth protocol, which we use to connect our phones, laptops and smart devices, etc. So we're looking at approximately 8.5 billion devices globally. That is a massive amount of devices. What makes it worse is a user doesn't actually have to download or click on anything to be infected, as traditional malware or viruses do. All I would need to do to infect every device within a 20-metre radius is just walk in with an infected device myself. So that's what makes it particularly dangerous. Probably one of the most dangerous flaws I've seen in my 20 years in cybersecurity.
It certainly is a worry. I've got to say, up until this week, I'd never heard of a BlueBorne attack. I'm assuming it's relatively new. What could it expose us to?
Look, the worst case scenario ever is I could either commandeer, I could steal data, or I could manipulate data on your phone or on your laptop or on any Bluetooth connected devices. If you think about, a lot of people keep internet banking stuff on their laptops or phones, photos, movies, and then when you look at companies and governments at scale, it could potentially be a huge problem.
I guess when you look at the future for us, when we're looking at driverless cars and the like, do you believe then that this is just the tip of the iceberg?
Look, unfortunately it is the tip of the iceberg in my opinion. If you look at BlueBorne, it's still fairly new. We're finding out what we can or can't fix. But we're looking at this movement towards what we call the Internet of Things. So not just your smart devices, but we're talking about driverless cars and trucks on our roads. We're talking about smart meters in our homes that balance power across the home, smart grids that balance power across the cities and states, etc. Now, from a security perspective, if something goes wrong at that scale, it could be potentially catastrophic.
Yeah, it really is frightening stuff. How can we then protect ourselves?
Look, if you're using a Google Android device, Apple iOS or Windows, you're in luck. There's a fix for it. So I would say if there's one available for the devices that you own, and people own between 5 or 6 devices, apply it. But when we're talking the Internet of Things at scale, look, it's a problem we're only just starting to scratch the surface. And it's potentially, as I said, going to be catastrophic, but it's a problem we need to attack head on.
Just very quickly, if you're not tech savvy like me, how do you find those fixes?
Look, I would say speak to a trusted source, whether it be your banking partner, your accountant if you're a business, or there's a lot of Twitter feeds that are available for the average consumer. Stay informed is probably the best. Yeah,
that is some very good advice and no doubt more to come in this area. Lani Rafidi, yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Queensland is watching the #1 news hour.